It's Bear Mace.
I know.
Fuck! Fuck!
guys.
It burns so fucking bad.
What's up, guys? Who's there?
Bear Mace to the eye. Straight to the eye.
Okay.
Help! He got me right in the eye with Bear Mace. Keep streaming.
I got it.
Keep streaming.
I am. I got it, baby.
My face is burned too.
You gotta get him out of here.
No, I can't even look. I can't even. Keep streaming me. Someone.
I'm streaming.
So get someone to stream me.
I got it. I got it, Bakes.
Okay.
It's Rick Wright right here. I got it. Okay.
What is my people saying?
All right. Damn, that sucks.
Milk. I need more milk.
Bakes, it's gonna hurt for a second. All right, man.
TC and Jake.
Dinucci.
It's freaking Ben Dinucci.
Dinucci.
You know, Baked Alaska was back in the news this week.
Before you bought the jersey, did you know that he couldn't throw in the traditional way that
That's why I bought
he
it.
struggles with the general over the shoulder?
That's why I bought it. Wild card. I'm going to end up being right about this one. Purchasing the jersey.
What would be right? I mean, you know, it's funny already. So in that sense, in my opinion, you are right.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
Is whenever I wear it out to a big gathering to watch a big game, maybe next year's Super Bowl, and people are like, that's a very funny jersey purchase you've made there.
You can wear it to next year's Super Bowl if you want. He won't be there. I hope you understand.
Oh, he'll be there.
Maybe if they get Fields. If he backs up Fields.
Baked Alaska was running around like in the French Quarter, macing people and live streaming it.
Oh,
Which
no.
you would tend to think he would want to stay as far away from pepper spray as possible, knowing all too well the effects.
Yeah, but I believe we uncovered it was him. Like this is not his first time pepper spraying. His first time was when he pepper sprayed himself.
I think I'm hot. I'm clipping. You hear that? It's fine. I
do hear that.
I might get a little fired up in this one.
Yeah, see, I was clipping too. Do I have the energy to open up the settings and do something about it?
Do you remember actually at our election party 4 years ago, we played a Baked Alaska song for the whole Club Dada. I think it was an auto-tuned song called Build the Wall.
Yeah.
The chorus was something like, build the wall, make it 10 feet higher. Build the wall, build it to the sky.
It was good, but it was not We Love Our Cops, Our Law Enforcement.
That was him?
Yeah.
He loves cops.
And our law enforcement.
And our law enforcement. Well,
we love the troops. They're important.
I hope everybody... You should put some sort of deal on this that says, this is like the Get Smart exploding offer, right? Like, you're not going to want to listen to this on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe.
Maybe.
If Notre Dame really smokes an opponent, I'll go back and listen to the preview if I didn't care. Just to, you know, every time they're like, well, I don't know if this is going to, and I'll be like, I know.
What a weirdo.
No, I don't actually do that.
But this one...
I lied to you. I'm sorry.
This one you will allow to be posted no matter what happens, right?
Fuck you.
Is that like the thing that I bring up that you like to hear about the least?
It can't be. I don't really care that much, dude.
Okay.
I don't think it was like you always do it as like, boy, now in the light of day, he must. No, I didn't think it was that good. I just don't want to put out stuff that sucks. I thought it sucked. Like, no big. I still think it sucks. Like, it just was an entertaining show. It's, you know, two guys. Like, don't play our fights because they're not funny.
You know, I remember that night too, though, and he's not going to be happy to hear about this.
Huh.
But we had, at the time, Councilman Philip Kingston up there with us.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, look, I don't understand why you guys are so bummed out.
It's going to be great.
Just got to get the midterms, you know, like how bad could he be?
We did.
He was very much in
we did get the midterms.
You guys should not be this bummed out.
Yeah, no,
and I think in
know.
retrospect, he probably wants that one back.
I don't know, because like, of course you watched the Mulaney intro on Saturday Night Live. You watched?
No.
You watched the opening monologue.
So did they do a separate politics show?
Tonight.
Oh, okay. Tonight's the big night, huh?
Yeah.
I'll lock in.
You could wrap up the McConaughey thing, drive straight home, pop on the boob tube.
Yep. You see that awesome Alec Baldwin Trump. Love that.
They're going to do it several times.
Whatever the woman's name that does Kamala, and she's always like
Maya Rudolph?
Yeah.
That's the woman?
Yeah, and she's always saying yes, queen type stuff. Love that. That's a heater and a half.
It's their Hillary, but they're black, but she's black.
Yeah, SNL just knocks it out of the park when it comes to politics. That's what I've always said.
It's their brand.
Their bellwether. Just no.
Maybe they'll replay the Mueller song.
Ooh, yeah, love the Mueller
Christmas
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time stuff there.
That's good.
Really going after the establishment.
No, he had a strain of thinking that, like, I don't always feel, but, like, wish I did. Where he's like, then everything will be different. Like, clearly that it won't be. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good monologue. I think that you would enjoy it. He paints like he's like, but once we have a different president, now if there's a situation where there's 6 girls at a sleepover and one of them was forced to be invited and the other 5 start picking on her because of it, and then she decides she wants to go home, and you're sitting there at the table with her as she's crying, and you're in your pajamas and she's in an overcoat waiting for her parents to come, then having this different president will make it so it's totally different. And I don't know.
A couple things.
I'm feeling it's true.
Yeah, no, I mean, you feel
I care about this stuff. And, like, I am hyper aware whenever I say this sort of thing that there are people for whom they're totally fucked. Like, they've been totally fucked by these last 4 years.
Yes.
I mean, like fucking migrant family. Like, if Hillary had won, I do not want to let the Democrats get away with letting you think that there would be no children in cages, but there would clearly be a smaller number of children in cages on behalf of the American people.
Joe?
Hillary okayed the building of the cages as part of the administration.
I don't know that we harped enough on that moment in the debate where he went full D. Barksdale.
Who built them, Joe?
Yeah, it was very Where's Wallace.
Yeah.
What about the cages, Joe? Who built them?
Tell me about those cages.
Who built the cages,
goddamn
Joe?
question.
As Levy's just sitting there telling Joe Biden, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't talk. So I think
for those people, it's incredibly important, and I don't mean to be like dismissive of that or to forget about it or whatever, but I also think that we're being melodramatic if we don't acknowledge that in our lives we've got it pretty good regardless, and so acting like it's the end of the world, like these are all things that I didn't think 4 years ago that I've tried to really front and center now.
Well, look at that. You've used this time to grow.
Yeah,
is what you're telling me.
I'm trying to.
I tell you where it's going to be different, and, well, maybe not.
Well, I'm going to make more money this time.
What do you mean? Because of the unemployment?
Well, no, 500 from you, 100 from Logan Dav 79.
That's right. Yeah, I'm ready to pay. I'm going to get you a big check.
But is Logan ready to pay?
I'm going to get you a big check and demand that you donate it to that woman that accused Joe Biden of assault.
No, I have decided where it's going.
Is there a new PlayStation coming out or something?
You got it right.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You got it right on. Number 5, dude. PS5.
Unbelievable.
Me and Joe are going to be able to link up on COD. And it's all because of you.
Look.
You bringing people together.
You want to make some predictions?
I mean,
we're not getting a result before the end of the year.
Okay. There's going to be the Electoral College before the end of the year, dude.
Okay.
That's the fact that there's Republicans means that that's obviously more likely. Like, they want to end this thing the second that they can possibly end it.
You think so?
All of the people who currently hold the levers of power want, like...
Unless you're getting trucked.
They want to count about 300 votes. Trump will get, 151 of them, and then it'll be like, I think we're done here.
Close up shop.
Yeah.
It is kind of, I was telling you this before we started, and it's probably some level of myopic, but we talked about this a little bit last week too, but I just love the feeling like you're in a historical moment.
Yeah.
It's really cool, even if it's a bad one. Like, kind
of even more so if it's a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cool zone, right?
Yeah.
It is the cool zone. It's a time in history that, I think the first article I ever read on the cool zone brought up Vietnam. They're like, yeah, Vietnam is something I'm very interested in reading about. Probably wasn't that cool to live through it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I feel about this. I want to journal, and I want to write down so that 10, 20, 30 years from now, I can think back, and this moment in time. However, if the chalk plays and Biden wins, I don't think that the version of tumult and turmoil that we are going to get as a result of that is going to be near as funny.
If Biden wins?
Yeah. Like, I think the last 4 years and us just like loving to play funny audio on the Patreon, and I still think there's going to be a lot of problems when it comes to political rage, possibly violence at some point. I mean, we've already had, clashes in the street, the likes of which, if you would have said were going to happen in America 10 years ago, people would have thought you were crazy.
I do want to know, because you, in our texts, have been spouting off strong assurances of violence, if you'd like a side bet there.
No, and I don't want to even I don't want that to happen. You look around and, you see those videos this weekend with the Biden bus.
That was wild.
Dude, shocking. Like, I watched it 3 or 4 times and was like really having a hard time wrapping my head around what I was seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got that. You've got people.
Did you hear who was in the bus?
Kamala?
No.
Eminem?
They did establish quickly that Joe and Kamala are both not in the bus. Richland's own Wendy Davis in the bus.
Oh, really?
Indeed.
So do they have it's like they were just on a separate bus? They were on a better bus?
I mean, I would assume that there's 100 of those buses.
Okay. For all the operatives?
They got a big bus budget. Well, they took all the money you donated to the Joe Biden Victory Fund, and they put that towards a bus.
PlayStation 5. I asked for this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to make a side bet on it, but what I'm saying, though, is that all of the stuff that comes with Biden winning, there's no funny stuff with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny stuff about Donald Trump being president.
There's
he's
less.
The greatest stand-up comedian of all time. And so are we going to have funny audio every week? We're all about to realize just how insane this run has been. Just that you can't just make another. Like, you read all these articles that are like the Trumpification of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And will they ever be able to
it's insulting to me.
It really is. Like, you're not
it's like you missed the whole moment.
Right.
He's a singular individual.
Yes. You're not getting another one of these. They may try to run some of his plays, but they're not going to pop the way they do when he runs
other
them.
people have been trying to run them for 4 fucking years now, and it's just not. Although, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm a little interested. That's the QAnon lady, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it takes electoral genius to do what she's doing, but I feel like she goes off.
Yeah, and you got Shelley.
She posted that the Lil Wayne song about fucking a cop. It was like Back the Blue.
Yeah, I know. That was a good one.
It was a good one.
You got the Shelley Luther.
Yeah.
I mean, so even when they can run those plays, but nothing is as funny as a dude who
they're
literally
the head PE to Trump's corn.
Not a corn fan, but that checks out. It's just not funny, and to have a politician who will literally get up and knows that he can say anything in the world without retribution, that is a singular moment.
Including noting that he could do anything without retribution. Like, I could shoot one of my supporters on Fifth Avenue.
Right. He flat out said that.
Great moment.
He got elected 2 weeks after, on tape, talking about how when you're famous, you can just grab women's pussies.
Yeah.
So at that point, he knew.
And part of what we're doing here today is just remembering that and putting everything in focus. But yeah, Joel, he's still gonna have some gaffes and stuff. But you're right. Like, just with Trump as the headlining act, being able to play a couple Joe gaffes is nice and fun. We're not gonna play it. We're not gonna have a podcast built around a Joe gaffe.
No,
one time.
And again, I just don't think, even if Trump keeps talking, because I'm sure he will, I just don't even think that's as funny.
Yeah.
Anymore. So I just jotted some stuff down, and I know you have some audio you want to play too.
I do.
It feels,
nothing's going to shock you. Nothing you don't remember. In fact, it's there because you remember it. It's the greatest hits. No surprises, but hits.
Yeah, it all happened. It certainly, I wouldn't say so fast, but so many of these moments were so fleeting. Like, everybody, remember when SNL just absolutely took down Sean Spicer?
Oof.
I mean, that pretty much ended him.
Well, he did end.
I know.
And it wasn't much longer after. I think it might have.
Who do you think had the most mercurial Trump run? Is it Mooch? Like that was like a 1 month moment in time.
It wasn't 1 month, dude. It was a week.
Like we got introduced to this firecracker and he was just gone.
I watched like 3 minutes of his one big press conference. And I stopped because I was like, I need to wait until Jake and I are good and fucked up and watching this together. We need to go back over it, dude. In fact, I wish we don't have the time for it here, but if we did, I would watch all 30 minutes with you right now. Like just the start, like he's just so goddamn smooth.
Yeah.
He's so good, but like also so dumb. Like I love everything about it. Oh, it's good.
He's talking about the putts.
Like, however good you think it is. Yeah, dude. I was with this man in Madison Square Garden. He could drain it from anywhere.
One hand, top coat.
This is who we're talking about.
Yeah, he was apparently actually only acting from July 21st to July 31st. You know how hard that rules?
He gave that press conference. He called up a reporter, like just fucking cussed about everyone he worked with, and then was like, "This is off the record." And the reporter's like, "No, it's not."
How it works.
He's like, "Well, I wish it was."
Yeah, and then and then publicly was like going after the reporter. And if you remember, he was at odds with Reince Priebus.
No, I don't think he was involved in government. I don't remember that name.
Reince Priebus.
Yeah.
He was at odds with Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really does feel like this was a 6-season arc, and there's just some guys that were played by, why am I blanking on his name? Sopranos cameo. It's like a cousin who comes home.
Furio?
Yeah, but why am I blanking on the actor's name? The Armageddon Space Dementia?
Steve Buscemi?
Yeah, like some of these guys would have been, you get a big Hollywood actor, but he's only in for like an 8-episode arc.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about the Mooch. Bannon was a constant.
I just want to watch a TV show about the Mooch.
Oh, I would watch that.
Yeah.
For sure. And now, of course, he's
an
anti-Trumper now.
Well, yeah, that all needed to happen. That all makes sense.
Yeah. Part of the turn.
Yeah.
Reince Priebus. Yeah, Steve Bannon, that was a fun one. That
until he was arrested at sea.
But it was like real cheap, right? Like he was just off the coast of like Virginia or something.
It was Connecticut.
Okay.
And I was wondering if he was in the open ocean. I don't know if I think it got on the podcast, but
yeah.
I discovered that Connecticut doesn't have open ocean. It's the entire thing. Long Island goes underneath it. Like Long Island goes past Connecticut, I believe.
So he was just kind of in a bay.
Yeah, he was just shuttling back and forth between Montauk.
As federal authorities board his vessel. What are some other good ones? Who could forget Sarah Huckabee Sanders? She had a powerhouse of a run.
Yeah, nearly fucked Kim Jong-un.
Nearly, that's right, nearly. And got real mad whenever someone made fun of her makeup. Remember our
Michelle
kerfuffle?
Wolf.
Yeah, over the White House
Correspondence Dinner. That's among the things where people will be like, finally, normalcy. They'll get their White House Correspondence Dinner back.
We can have our centrist.
I'm so proud of you.
Cent lib party back. Did we ever actually play Obama talking about Trump?
No, but I think about it constantly. I think that, listen, I understand. Like I said, I get the fall. I don't think anyone doubts that I do the fallout of all of this. But there's a real Michael Jordan moving story to thinking about him sitting there, like is everyone in the room's laughing at him, like he's the Joker on Murray's show, the Murray Franklin show, and he's just in his head. He's like, "But I'll get you."
Yeah.
And then he just worked hard, put his all into it, and just through the sheer force of his personality, he did get them. He was like Borat's brother. He break out of the cage and he get this.
If you've never seen it, it's 2011.
Yeah.
And it's hosted by Seth Meyers, and Trump is there, and Obama just goes at him. And he's doing pretty standard Trump jokes, like the jokes that everyone has been doing forever about.
Is it short? Do you want to send it to me?
It's like 5 minutes.
You want to
It's
watch it?
pretty long.
Okay.
But you need to see it, though, if you're interested in this, because they're doing the deal where they have the camera on Trump like the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's not laughing.
No.
He's fucking seething.
He's like Joker and Murray Franklin.
Yeah, and everyone around Trump is giving him the look over like, oh, God, I don't feel like...
You want to hear a joke, Murray?
I don't feel like he thinks this is funny. And I have a friend that contends that that's the moment that he was like, all right, that's it.
It's not just your friend. I think that, like, that's... I don't know. I don't know a single person who's seen that video that disputes that. Like,
yeah, I just never seen it before
just
a few months ago.
Excessively obvious that that's what's going on. I mean, I think that was circulated like during the 2016 campaign at points. Yeah, no, I think it's the missing piece of the puzzle. Like it's definitely just him, because Megan and I were having this conversation. I've really had a spiritual awakening over the last several months. And I've just kind of see the world through new light. Just coming more closely aligned with Marianne Williamson, stuff like that.
She's a kook.
And she was talking about Megan, the CEO of her company, will post very clear anti-Trump things, and she was like this. So that she was saying I try not to hate anyone, but I hate this man. And I was like, nah, man, stick with the first one. I don't hate anyone. And Megan was like, how can you not hate him? And I'm like, he does bad stuff and I don't support him, but everyone who's ever done anything that hurts someone else did it because they were hurt. There's a sympathetic reading of their motivation anytime. Everyone who acts violent, it's because they don't feel safe unless they're inflicting that violence because of something that happened to them. And it is that he is just fucking sitting in a room as everyone's mocking him. He has not actually worked hard to get where he is, but he feels like he has.
Sure.
And
just like his kids,
he's getting all of this. All these accomplishments are just being fucking smeared with feces. As this man who he has such contempt for is standing up there saying I'm the joke, and the whole room's laughing at me. If that were one of your friends that was sitting at this table just getting ripped apart. Then they lashed out by trying to do whatever, you'd be like, well, they were fucking with him pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give a charitable reading to his time as president, but I understand what you're saying. No,
it's bad, and he should go to hell for it. But
probably starts with Fred not loving him.
Yeah. There's a ton about Trump, and there's a ton about any bad person ever that's very sympathetic. What's the serial killer where their parents just treated them well, and the world more or less accepted them? There's not any of them.
We never really got any sort of backstory that made any sense on Kafife. That was an exhilarating time.
He was just mistyping coverage. I thought that was apparent at the time.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was given the negative press Kafefe. And he the COV, it's just coverage.
It was an exhilarating time.
Now, why did he hit enter then? I don't know.
Why we tried to figure out what exactly Kafife was.
See, everyone was trying to figure it out. I'm like, he's clearly just typing the word coverage.
Despite the constant negative press, Kafife.
See, it's obviously coverage.
But then it stayed up for a while.
Yeah.
It might still be up there. I love that too.
Yeah.
Just his ride or die. I'm a poster. Look,
shoot or shoot.
Post to post.
Yeah.
What are some other? I mean, we had a little run with Chris Christie.
I mean, he's an amazing figure in all this. You gotta give him that.
And did you know
what?
For $200,
what?
Cameo.
Oh, why not?
I'm only telling you this because I was gonna buy one for Dan.
And
then determined it to be too expensive.
So
now there's really no point in me preserving this. But yeah, you can get Chris Christie.
Well, if I hadn't already budgeted all 500, I might have peeled off too.
Oh man, come on.
Maybe we'll see. It depends on whether or not Logan Dav pays up.
Who's that again?
Guy on Twitter that the day after we made the bet was in my mentions getting spicy, and I said, "You want in?" He's like, "I'm in for 100."
Yeah, I think I owe a female P1 of ours $100. Listener to the show.
If it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I told myself I wouldn't make any predictions after last time, so we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, you want to start with these vlogs?
Yeah, sure. So these, I guess we could probably scour this for content for years to come. The first one, just play the Super Bowl ad one first. So if you don't know, they're all deleted from his actual website, but Factbase archived all of his personal vlogs, and they're pretty low rent. Like, it was him sitting at his desk at Trump Tower, desk's all messy, and he just weighs in on...
It was kind of like this.
He just weighs in on the most trivial bullshit. Of course, we had him railing against a Geico ad last time.
Everyone says it's the worst ad.
Worst.
Pull it off the air now.
Here he is.
It's been a tradition that at the end of the Super Bowl, people vote for their favorite commercial. Well, I hope you vote for me and Century 21. We did a commercial. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. People like it. I hope you vote for it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. He was just, in 2011, had a Super Bowl commercial, and he wanted you to vote for him for it afterward.
That was kind of his first dipping his toe into electoral politics.
Getting the award for favorite commercial during the halftime.
He said, if I can do this, I can do anything.
For Century 21. The other one is kind of timely because I don't know if you remember this, but many years ago at the, I want to say, Oscars,
yeah,
you may recall that Sacha Baron Cohen threw a bunch of shit on Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of sand or dust or something. And it was a big to-do. And so Trump weighed in.
This third-rate character named Sacha Baron Cohen thought he was being cute and funny when he threw ashes at Ryan Seacrest. Now, I know Ryan Seacrest. He's a great guy. And you could see he was visibly upset. It was disgraceful. And the security guard that was standing to the right, he ought to be fired immediately. That guy had nothing. He is not capable. Yeah. He allowed this guy to get away with so much. Believe me, if that ever happened to somebody with real security, Sacha Baron Cohen would not be in good shape right now. He'd be in a hospital. He would have been punched in the face so many times, he wouldn't have known what happened. I only wish that Ryan took a swing at him, and I only wish that the security guard that allowed it all to happen, number one, gets fired, and number two, go to school, learn about being security. You don't know, man.
Pause it.
A lot of people are...
There's any pivots here.
Go to school, learn about being security.
It's 100% Boogie. I asked you what you do for a living, and the best thing you could come up with was computer school.
I go to security school. Could you just imagine, like,
Seacrest is...
like the hot dogs guy with 3 hot dogs? You watch the Boys and Girls Guide to Getting Down. They had a bit about bouncers. They're rated by the number of, like, the back of your neck, like, fat rolls.
Okay.
Like, that's a hot dog. So, like, I just imagine, like, a 3 hot dog security guard standing in front of a whiteboard being like, and if it's one of these, you need to beat their ass.
Yeah. Go to school.
If someone throws ashes, you put them in the hospital. Everyone say that. Go
to school and learn about security. So that was his first part is just on the Oscars. He continues this back half of this, but this is just the most shallow shit, but it's funny.
Asking me about the Academy Awards and what's going on around the Academy Awards. Well, I hear that the absolute worst party of the evening was the Vanity Fair party.
Here we go.
It was boring. People were sleeping. Nobody enjoyed it. There was no good feeling. And it's really like symptomatic of what happened to Vanity Fair.
Yep.
Vanity Fair newsstand sales are down at an unbelievable number. The magazine has lost its focus. It used to be a wonderful magazine. Right now, it's boring, just like the party they had. Too bad. It was a great institution.
Too bad.
Too bad. Too bad. Yeah, your party sucked.
For people who don't obsessively follow these things, Trump has a long-time personal vendetta with Graydon Carter, and I believe it's over very petty things. But it's on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know how often, like, I'll open my Apple News app, and if a Vanity Fair story pops up there, like, they're very petty about him, and like will take like obviously like stuff where like me, someone who does not like Trump, I'll read this and be like, all right, you're just feeding into the idea that no one's gonna play fair to this guy because you're obviously not playing anything approaching fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. There's a big tweet that goes around. Jake's primary nemesis, Felix from Chapo, will often retweet the Sissy Graydon Carter tweet.
I feel like I've seen that. Explain.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing. It's just he's ripping the Vanity Fair Oscars party. He's like, it's a boring party now.
Sissy, here it is.
Yeah.
Sissy Graydon Carter of Vanity Fair magazine and owner of Bad Food Restaurants has a problem.
A food restaurant.
His Vanity Fair Oscar party is no longer, in quotes, hot.
There you go. Like
owner of Bad Food Restaurants.
And just whenever he's sending that tweet, imagine who he's sending it to. He's telling the Apprentice audience, like, Oscars party not so hot anymore. All right, I'll write that down.
Yeah, I guess
keep track of that.
Should this ever come up, then I need to know that Graydon Carter, his restaurants are Bad Food Restaurants. Mm-hmm. And then this last one here,
noted
from the vlogs, man, it's hilarious.
Paul Tuttle Sr., the star of American Chopper, it's a really successful show on making choppers, just presented me with, I think, one of the most beautifully manufactured and built choppers in the world. And I don't know what to do with it because I'm not a big driver of motorcycles or, as they
call
say,
them
choppers. But he is an amazing guy. He's on Celebrity Apprentice. He does really well. He's tough. He's smart. He's cunning. And he likes not to wear shirts. I mean, he does the cutoff thing, and it's a lot of fun. But he does great on the Celebrity Apprentice. We just put the chopper in the atrium of Trump Tower, 57th and 5th, right next to Tiffany. And the crowds are going absolutely crazy. They love it. He did an amazing job. He's a very talented guy. And I very much appreciate the chopper. I don't know what to do with it, but I appreciate it. We're going to keep it in the atrium for a couple of months so everybody can see it. This is a little bit about the great manufacturing talents in this country. I can't think of any other place that could make a masterpiece like this. So, Paul, thank you and congratulations.
I love the idea
like
that
Germany or Italy.
Yeah, like the people who have long since dominated the lane of automotive.
Well,
But I like the idea, though.
I feel like you're coming for the family with that line of talk.
Ford man?
Well, he worked at Ford for a while.
And then Harley.
Currently works at Harley Davidson.
We were always a Ford family.
There you go.
With our purchases.
You know what it stands for?
No.
Found on Road Dead is the common joke, but it's in Honey Boy, so that's why it sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
Like the Shia LaBeouf has Big Brother's Big Sister's dad that like comes and takes care of him or whatever, and his dad's like, I want to meet this motherfucker, and he drives up in a restored Ford truck, and he's like, you know what it stands for? And he's like, well, it's the man's name, William Ford, and he's like, no, it's Found on Road Dead. Then he takes a swing at him.
That I've heard.
It's a great movie. That's probably the best scene.
I love the idea though that they put the chopper, as they call it, in the atrium, and people are going crazy.
People are going nuts for it. They walk by there. Ooh,
57 and 5th, and they're just blown away.
I just love giving out the address. You guys know, 57th and 5th. That's what's up.
Yeah, now it's over to your audio.
All right. So I just wanted to, like I said, bring us back. This is a time for reflection, I feel. I've listened to a number of other podcasts that also take this. This is it's the eve of presidential election. It's a time to take stock, look back.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to just play for you, the best stuff that you remember, and just kind of lock in this time capsule. So I only kind of half remember this one, but figured I'd have something to kind of ease us in. So enjoy.
Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Sarge. I'm president of Local 2227, and I'd like to tell you a story about my father during the 80s. He lost his job due to imports coming into this country. And I just want to tell you what that does to a man with 6 kids is devastating. So with that being said, for Herman Sarich, your story didn't end. And for all the people that I represent at my union, I never want to see it happen again. And for these workers and these folks, I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm very humbled with this. So it's very important to us. So I never want to see it happen again. And I say that sincerely from my heart. And I thank you for the opportunity for what you do.
Your father's Herman?
Then yes, sir.
Yes. Well, your father, Herman, is looking down. He's very proud of you right now.
He's still alive.
Oh, he is? Well, then he's even more proud of you.
Great recovery.
Then he's even more proud. Anybody
now-
else? Please, come on up.
There you go.
Let's arm wrestle. Come on.
It was a fucking big burly. Like the guy had biceps as large as Trump's head, and he's like, "Oh, hey, look at you!
You're a big man. Let's
arm wrestle.
wrestle.
Let's arm wrestle."
Well, he's still alive.
I just love the guy's voice.
Down here, Union 227.
He would be so proud of you. Well, now he's more proud of you.
Well, yeah,
because he knows how good I'm doing, and that you're talking to me,
and that he's alive.
Yeah,
that's also yeah.
Here's one we've mentioned before. I mean, we played it, but since we played it, we've mentioned it many times. Bob Woodward talking to Donald Trump about the book coming out, but also in a little bit of a tiff over whether or not Woodward had requested an interview prior to the book. Oh, Jesus Christ, TC, you're going to have to do a quick thing.
Here, I'll do my fake Bob Woodward, and you can see how good it is or bad. Well, I sent the request to Kellyanne. I sent it to Kellyanne 3 times. She never got back to me, but I sent the request to Kellyanne.
I think we're going to see it spot on.
Let's see.
Insight and documentation, and it's it's a tough look at the world and your administration and you.
Right. Well, I assume that means it's going to be a negative book, but I'm sort of 50% used to that. That's all right. Some are good and some are bad. Sounds like this is going to be a bad one.
It's a chance missed, and I don't know how things work over there in terms of getting to you.
You would call Madeline in my office. Did you speak to Madeline?
No, I didn't. But
Madeline is the key. She's the secret because
she's the president. I talked to Kelly.
Well, a lot of them are afraid to come and talk, or they are busy. I'm busy, but I don't mind talking to you. I would have spoken to you. I spoke to you 20 years ago. I spoke to you a year and a half or 2 years ago.
I understand.
And I certainly don't mind talking to you. And I wish I could have spoken to you.
Well,
but but nobody called my office. I mean. You went through, different people.
Mr. President, how can I spend all this time talking to people and like Kellyanne and Raj and Republican senators? I mean,
who were the senators? No, they never called me about it.
Senator Graham said he had talked to you about talking to me. Now, is that not true?
Senator Graham actually mentioned it quickly on one meeting, and that is true. That is true. Well, but that is true. Mentioned it quickly, not like, and I would certainly have thought that maybe you would have called the office, but that's okay. I'll speak to Kellyanne. I am a little surprised that she wouldn't have told me.
Yeah,
in fact, she just walked in. I'm talking to Bob Woodward. He said that he told you about speaking to me, but you never told me. Why didn't you tell me? I would have been very happy to speak to him. All right, so what are you going to do?
Well,
so I have another bad book coming out. Big deal.
It goes on.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Got
Just
another
bad
bad
book.
That is spectacular. Every single line in there is just so spectacular. I mean, what Woodward means when he says how things work over there is order of operations and
Let
chain
me
of
stop you there.
Very good.
Well.
Very well. When mentioning
Smooth
people
machine.
are busy, he's incapable of mentioning that other people are busy without also including that he's also very busy.
But the way he says it, I have never been less convinced that someone was busy. It's like he's kind of like realizes how bad he looks, and he's like, well, all of my staff, they do a lot. And well, come to think of it, I do. I definitely do a lot.
Probably the most.
Yeah, for sure. A lot.
And then you get the deal of like what sounds like calling home to your parents. Hey, I'm talking to Jake.
Yeah.
He says, oh, well, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
It's amazing, dude. And he's like, all right, yeah, well, you clearly just laid out that you did everything I just asked that you should have done. Well, fuck it. Who cares? Bad book.
Yeah, could have been good. Instead, it's bad.
Good grief.
What can you do?
Good grief.
What can you do? All right. I don't know if you can lean over here or if you want, because this helps if you can see it a little bit. I'll describe for the podcast audience, but just this guy in the back really adds something. I don't know that I'd noticed him before.
And the good news keeps pouring in. In fact, we have a very important announcement to make tonight.
He's on meth.
Does anybody know what that announcement is?
The guy in the crowd is.
Yeah, 100% is.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what that announcement is?
Yeah.
We have a very, very large announcement. Do you understand? Large.
That's right,
yeah,
bud.
baby.
I knew you didn't want to leave without it.
I knew what's happening here.
So I would like to invite my good friend and your governor, Jim Justice.
Whenever he said large, people should know he extended his arms out as far as they could go and said large.
Ozzie Guillen also did that when calling in Bobby Jenks once. It's the same motion.
Up to the stage to share this news with all of you. Jim, come on up. Come on up, Jim. Look at this guy.
You'll never believe him.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I was playing this for Megan yesterday.
Jim is going to say a few words, and these words have not been spoken by a major political figure, meaning governor or senator, in our country for a long time. Thank you.
The guy in the back really looks like Jake Bird. He doesn't physically resemble him, but the energy is the same.
Yeah. Affect is very similar.
Megan saw Jim Justice whenever I was getting this ready. He was like, he really is big. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. We've been obsessed lately here in the den with how obsessed Jerry is with McCarthy's size.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It's just every chance he gets, he's like, and he's just like his big old self sitting at that desk, and he cannot wait to compliment McCarthy's size. And
he's a solid man.
There's just something about these guys, like these billionaires.
It was probably so hard for him whenever Garrett's just not, he's kind of a fet.
yeah, you could tell that's pretty much the main thing. Some people say go from players coach.
Just wanted a big guy in here.
Yeah, he wanted a big man, and in my mind,
Farley type.
He slaps him on the back every day.
Oh, yeah.
4 or 5 times. Look at
this. It's just solid wood.
Sturdy. Just a big man. And it's the same thing with Trump. Like, he just loves big dudes.
All right. And I think this is my favorite. I think this is my personal top.
I know where you're headed.
I just, I don't want to let these 4 years expire without having remembering the speech to the Jamboree.
You will gain momentum, and look, you have to. You need the word momentum. You will gain that momentum, and each success will create another success. The word momentum.
A great part of this is that Rick Perry's in the shot the entire time.
That's very interesting for me. When I was young, there was a man named William Levitt, Levittown. You have some here, you have some in different
states. A feeling of
Anybody
warmth just washes over me as he says it. Yep. I love it so much.
And he was a very successful man, became unbelievable. He was a home builder, became an unbelievable success, and got more and more successful. And he'd build homes, and at night he'd go to these major sites with teams of people, and he'd scour the sites for nails and sawdust and small pieces of wood, and they'd clean the site so when the workers came in the next morning, the sites would be spotless and clean. And he did it properly. And he did this for 20 years, and then he was offered a lot of money for his company. And he sold his company for a tremendous amount of money, at the time especially.
Can you pause it real quick?
This is a long time ago. Sold his company.
Do you know how bored you are if you're a 12-year-old scout right now?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is he talking about?
And I mean, this is 18 minutes in.
It's the most boring, give me Tony Dungy or somebody to come up here and tell a cool football story or something.
And I mean, if I'm calling the top clip, then of course it works on a number of levels. But one thread to keep, I think the forefront thing is what's coming up here in a second. But one thing to keep in mind is just, this doesn't make any sense. Like
it really doesn't.
It's like if you think that the sports momentum thing is like kind of iffy, it's clear he enumerates on like you can definitely see him sitting there like making business decisions where they're like, Mr. Trump, we want to build a tower in Abu Dhabi, and he'll be like, Abu Dhabi, that's a town with momentum. It's a yes.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Do you want to look at the financials? No, it's a yes. Momentum. And like he's like, you know what made William Levitt successful? He swept the work sites. Fucking busy work, bullshit ass nothing. That is not what made him successful at all.
But he had momentum, folks.
Company for a tremendous amount of money. And he went out and bought a big yacht. And he had a very
Rick Perry kind of laughed at that
I
one.
won't go any more than that because you're Boy Scout, so I'm not going to tell you what he did. Should I tell you? Should I tell
you? He's hamming it up.
Oh, you're Boy Scouts, but you know life. You know life. So, look at you. Who would think this is the Boy Scouts, right?
What?
So he had a very, very interesting life. And the company that bought his company was a big conglomerate. And they didn't know anything about building homes, and they didn't know anything about picking up the nails and the sawdust and selling it.
They
and the
wouldn't
scraps
pick up the
of
nails.
wood.
That's why they failed.
This was a big conglomerate based in New York City. And after about a 10-year period, they were losing a lot with it. It didn't mean anything to them. And they couldn't sell it. So they called William Levitt up. And they said, would you like to buy back your company? And he said, yes. I would. He so badly wanted. He got bored with this life of yachts and sailing and all of the things he did in the south of France and other places.
And other places.
You won't get bored,
you
right?
know.
You know, truthfully, your workers, you'll get bored too, believe me. Of course, having a few good years like that isn't so bad.
I know we've all heard this a lot of times, so it just kind of, it dulls it. I want you to understand that this man, the President of the United States, is standing in front of a flag behind the presidential podium telling 12-year-olds that they are going to get tired of orgies on yachts.
Yeah.
That one day.
Right. And also that you're all just workers.
You'll never get bored of, but actually you're workers. You'll get bored. You'll get bored.
I know there's a ceiling on just about everybody in here, and it ain't that high.
Well, see, I actually don't think that's what he means. I think that he, like we have the workers managers thing, like worker is like a big part of the socialism vocabulary. I think that he is self-identifying as a worker,
as a hard worker.
Yeah,
sometimes
like he's saying that anyone who's just on this tireless drive to achieve that that burns you out at some point.
And then you need to take a yacht.
You gotta have a couple of yacht years. In the south of France and other places.
And then what does he mean? Oh, I cannot believe you're the Boy Scouts. Why?
Because he's like, you guys are getting so dirty right now. No, it's just
it's
you,
just
dude.
You.
We didn't ask to talk about this. Although they certainly and I could just imagine this.
Oh yeah.
If he came down to Camp Grady Spruce while I was there and asked if I wanted to hear the details.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, give me the details.
Tell us about the yacht.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah, I do think that there's a decent chance that he loses tomorrow and runs again in 4 years. So we shouldn't shut the door entirely.
I like that.
But there's also a real good chance that this is it, and this is going to be as good as it ever gets. So I just want to say that if that's the case, it was great for me.
A hell of a ride.
Yeah.
A hell of a ride. Learned about wind.
Birds.
Went down a bunch of fake Melania rabbit holes.
I'm still not sure, Snopes says they're sure. Like what? So I'm just because you work at Snopes, the fact you look at this picture and you're like, no, it's not a fake. I don't know, dude.
But it's been fun. As horrible as it could be, also been very fun. 51-49. I want him gone, but 51-49.
But there is that 49.
We'll have to see. We'll do an episode Wednesday morning.
Yep. Thanks for riding with us, folks.
That's it for tonight. The high school special is next, so until tomorrow. For everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm TC and Jake. We do thank you for watching. Good night.